We all want to become the protagonist of our own story, but that can be hard, especially when you're lazy, undisciplined, and addicted to your phone. But what if I told you that there is a mindset shift that you can make right now that can turn your whole life around? I found there is a specific kind of mindset that all the successful people have that allow them to become the person that they wanted to be. It can help you achieve the physique you want, make you better, smarter, and very pleasant to be around. I personally struggled with feeling behind. I saw many people achieve things while my life was just getting worse. But after adopting this mindset, my life changed for the better and I was able to become the person I always wanted to be. So not only I'm gonna teach you what this mindset shift is, but I'll also teach you step by step how you can adopt it and stick with it. So bear with me for a moment because this is gonna change your life. Many of us feel stuck now because even though we have goals, we just can't seem to find a way to achieve them. We make our New Year's resolutions, but after a few weeks, we quit. And then we feel stuck, we feel like we're falling behind and everyone else is ahead of us. And that's exactly when we start to believe that we are not good enough, that despite our efforts, it seems like success is just for other people. But let me tell you right now, that is not true. We can also change our lives, we just need a better system. Most people set goals when they want to achieve something, and that is great. But when the goal is too far from where we are now, it creates a gap between the way we see ourselves and the way we'd like to be. If the difference is huge, motivation will go away and you will get discouraged. Let's say, for example, I'm fat, out of shape, and I want to be like one of those characters in the movies. If the motivation is very strong, I might start working out that day. But after a week, after putting a lot of effort into it, I see that I'm still far from my goal, so I start feeling discouraged. I start feeling like I'm putting a lot of effort, but it's not worth it, that I'm just wasting my time, so I quit. But what I didn't see is that I was getting better, I was getting a bit stronger, I lost a couple of pounds, but the distance between my current self and my goal was so big that all of those achievements seemed insignificant, and that's the problem with setting goals. So the mindset shift has changed completely the way I approach things now and how I get things done even when I don't want to. It's to go from achieving goals to becoming someone. Let me explain. Let's take the same example to make it easier to understand. I'm fat and my goal is to get in shape and achieve my dream body. Now, instead of just chasing my goal, I decide to become a person that already has the body that I want. I start to notice what they do and I start acting in the same way. Here's where most people get confused, but think about it like this. When you become the kind of person who goes to the gym every day, you don't need motivation to keep going. When you become the kind of person who cares about health and takes care of his diet, you no longer need to force yourself to eat better. Imagine how great it's gonna be when you no longer need to debate between going to the gym or not. When you become someone who just goes regardless. Lack of motivation, lack of discipline, none of that will be an impediment for you. You just do what you need to do. Every time I chased the goal of getting in shape, I fell short. But once I decided to become the kind of person who works out regularly, who eats healthy and has good habits, I finally achieved my dream physique even though I was no longer chasing it. I know it seems like something confusing or difficult to do, but I'm gonna teach you how you can start adopting this mindset with just 3 simple steps and achieve long-lasting success. The first step has everything to do with getting you started. We need to make the first step so small it would be stupid not to do it. When we want to do something, usually it's very hard to get started because the thought of having to do a lot of things is overwhelming, so we procrastinate. We have to make an essay or another project, but every time we think about it, we feel all the pressure, so we do nothing. That's why we need to break the task down into smaller chunks that we can tackle one by one. So instead of thinking I have to read a book, you start thinking I have to grab the book and read 1 paragraph. Once you start, you know from your own experience that's way easier to keep going, that once you read a page, reading the next one is effortless, that once you sit down and start doing that daunting project, you always say, "Wow, I should have done it sooner." You know that. But this will raise another question. If I tell you right now to not think about reading the whole book but just 1 page, that instead of focusing on doing a full workout, you just need to do 5 push-ups, you will invariably start thinking, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Even if I did that, it's not gonna help me achieve my goal." But that's the whole point. It's not to get shredded after 1 day. It's not about reading 1 book. It's about becoming the person who does something, not achieving 1 thing. If you read a page of a book every day, you will become a reader. And once you become a reader, reading a whole book is going to be easy because you're a reader and readers read books. So even if it feels meaningless to you now, after a few days you'll start to see how much progress you can make when you no longer need to force yourself to do things. Now let's jump to the next step, otherwise none of this would work. And this step is about tracking actions. It's about tracking progress, not outcomes. When we focus too much on the goal, we forget about the journey, so we miss all the great things around us. We miss to see all the progress that we're making because we're still far from the final destination. I see this every day with people who want to grow a YouTube channel, for example. They post one video, but when they see that it gets no views, they quit. They're still looking at the final goal. So it would be way better if they just focused on making more videos, on getting better. If they forget about the views and stay consistent, eventually they will become better and they'll start gaining traction. But that will never happen if they don't start taking actions that will move them closer to where they want to go. So to avoid this, I'd urge you to track progress, to track the actions you make to move in the right direction. We as human beings, we love to see that we are not wasting our time, and there is no better way to do this than to see it visually. So get a habit tracker, a calendar, or just write things down on a notebook, but track how you're doing. That way you'll see that even though the final goal is still far, at least you are making progress, and that's what really matters. Now let's move on to the next step, because this is the one that will finally make everything solid for us. This step is to identify yourself as the person who does the thing. If you've been reading a page of a book for a month, you can definitely start seeing yourself as a reader. Now instead of thinking, oh, I would like to read more books, you would just read more, because that's what readers do. I've struggled a lot with being consistent with things. I would go to the gym once and not go back in months. I would upload a YouTube video and disappear for ages. But once I started to identify myself as someone who uploads videos to YouTube, once I saw myself as a person who goes to the gym every day, I stopped having issues with consistency. And as you can see for yourself, I've made a lot of progress on both. I go to the gym, it doesn't matter if it is raining, snowing, or whatever, I just go because that's what I do. Even if I don't get any views, I keep uploading videos to YouTube because that's what I do. So stop thinking about just doing things, but start thinking about becoming the person who does it. It's no longer I want to get fit, but it's I'm someone who takes care of my body. It's not I have to do this, but I'm someone who gets things done. Once you make this transition, you're gonna notice how everything will change for you. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. That helps the channel a lot, and I'll do my best to keep making more videos like this. That's everything. Take care.